Nigeria's imported food inflation jumped to 36.38% in June 2024 from 34.83% recorded in the previous month, which represents a 1.55% point increase. According to the Consumer Price Index data for June 2024 by the National Bureau of Statistics, the average price index for imported food rose to 806.0 in June 2024 from 591.0 in the same month of the previous year. Welcome to Business Point, where we x-ray Nigeria's economy and the government policies. I'm Queen Agaba. Nigeria's imported food inflation increased significantly from the 19.10% recorded in June 2023 as Naira weakened following the unification of all segments of the forex exchange market by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The unification process in June 2023 aimed at creating a more transparent and efficient foreign exchange market, resulting in a steep depreciation of the Naira. January starts this year with a high imported food index and a significant inflation rate of 26.29%, indicating that the cost of imported food is already elevated. In February 2024, the imported food inflation increased to 29.81%, marking a notable jump of 3.52 percentage points in the inflation rate from January. The trend continues upward in March, with the imported food inflation rate climbing to 32.89%, an increase of 3.8 percentage points from February. In April, the inflation rate further increased to 34.1%, growing by 1.12 percentage points from March, showing a slight deceleration in the rate of increase. May records an imported food inflation rate of 34.83%, indicating a continued upward trend. The increase in inflation rate is 0.82 percentage points from April. By June, the imported food inflation rate hit 36.38%, marking an increase of 1.55 percentage points from May. While the overall trend is upward, the rate of increase in inflation shows signs of gradual deceleration from March to May before picking up again in June. Imported food inflation exceeds headline inflation. Nigeria's inflation rate in June 2024 surged from 33.95% in May 2024 to 34.19% in June. The headline inflation rate in June 2024 was 11.40 percentage points higher compared to June 2023, rising from 22.79% on a month-on-month basis. The headline inflation rate in June 2024 was 2.31%, an increase of 0.17 percentage points from May 2024 rate of 2.14%. This indicates that the average price level increased at a faster rate in June 2024 than in May 2024. Nigerian banks sustained a bearish run last week as investors reacted to the planned 70% windfall tax to be imposed on the capital gains earned from the forex between 2023 and 2025. Data from the NGX indicates the banking index fell 2.9% during the week, taking the month-to-date losses to 1.32%. The Nigerian banking index has now reversed at the start of the year when it ended the first quarter with 14.76% gain. The banking index is currently down to 819 points, the lowest level in nearly a month. Sell pressures arising from high liquidity and bearish sentiment amidst regulatory curve both sent most of the major banking share prices lower, with nearly all major banking stocks incurring losses during the week. Banking equities have lost about 398 billion naira in market cap since the announcement of the windfall tax on July 17th. Since the announcement of the proposed 50%, now 70% windfall tax on the realized FX gains recorded by banks in 2023, investors have displayed bearish sentiments towards banking stocks. Nigeria's Tier 1 banks, also known as FUGAs, posted losses during the week as investors assigned bearish valuations. Access Corp saw its share price drop by 4.6% over the week, with a month-to-date decline of 2.6% and a year-to-date fall of 20%. FBNH also experienced a decrease, with its share price falling by 4.8% for the week, 1.4% for the month and 11% for the year. GTCO was down by 2.1% for the week and 1.2% for the month, but still holds a year-to-date increase of 9%. UBA faced the most significant weekly drop among FUGA's banks, declining by 7.9%, with a month-to-date drop of 6.0% and a year-to-date fall of 18%. Zenith Bank's share price decreased by 3.1% for the week, although it managed a slight month-to-date gain of 1.0%, with a year-to-date decline of 7%. Among the other banks, FCMB experienced a slight weekly decline of 0.6%, but its month-to-date performance improved by 1.9%, resulting in a year-to-date decrease of 7%. Fidelity remained unchanged over the week, with a positive month-to-date gain of 4.9% and a minor year-to-date decline of 1%. Stanbic's share price remained stable over the week, with a month-to-date increase of 2.9% despite a significant year-to-date drop of 23%. Sterling saw a small weekly decline of 0.5% and a month-to-date decline of 4.1% and a year-to-date decrease of 7%. Wema Bank experienced a slight weekly decline of 0.8%, a substantial month-to-date decline of 14.4%, but maintained a year-to-date gain of 12% in all. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has disclosed that it will create a dedicated office to manage dormant accounts and unclaimed balances. This is according to the CBN's recently issued documents, Guidelines on Dormant Accounts and Unclaimed Balances. According to the Apex Bank, it will manage these funds in trust, refunding the principal and any accrued interest to beneficiaries within 10 working days of receiving a reclaim request from the financial institution. The CBN also noted that financial institutions are required to notify customers immediately and on a quarterly basis when their accounts become inactive or dormant. Reactivating a dormant account involves account owners completing a reactivation form at their respective financial institutions, providing evidence of ownership and valid identification. For unclaimed balances, financial institutions must transfer these funds to the CBN once they have been dormant for 10 years. Nigeria's total imports from Malta rose from 0 to 1.3 trillion naira in 2023, according to an analysis of the Foreign Trade Statistics report released by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. This is as controversy continues to trail the sudden increase in Nigeria's imports from the small southern European country, following recent accusation by Aliko Dangote, chairman of Dangote Industries Limited, against Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited. A cursory review of the NBS report showed that Nigeria's total import for 2023 was 35.92 trillion naira, which indicates that about 2.87% of Nigeria's total imports were from Malta, despite no record of any international trade between the two countries in 2022. Further observed that the import from Malta was 8.41% of the total import from Europe, which was about 12.25 trillion naira in 2023. In the first quarter of 2023, Nigeria's imports from Malta recorded a value of 0, representing a 0% of the total imports for that period. This lack of imports set a stark contrast, for the subsequent quarters. It was further observed that the import from Malta was 8.41% of the total import from Europe, which was about 12.25 trillion naira in 2023. What this data is saying, in the first quarter of 2023, Nigeria's imports from Malta recorded a value of 0, representing 0% of the total imports for that period. This lack of imports sets a stark contrast for the subsequent quarters. By the second quarter, import from Malta was 181.55 billion naira, accounting for 3.17% of Nigeria's total imports for the period. The upward trend continued into Q3 2023, with imports from Malta soaring to 561.37 billion naira, representing a 6.64% share of the total imports for the quarter, showcasing a significant increase of 209.20% when compared to the previous quarter. However, by Q4 2023, there was a sharp decline in the value of imports from Malta. The imports dropped by 48.1% to 291.98 billion naira, contributing to only 2.7% of Nigeria's total imports for the quarter. Since there was no import from Malta in the first quarter of 2023, it likely means that importation from this southern European country started in Q2 to Q4 2023. For these 3 quarters, Nigeria's total import was 29.45 trillion naira, which further suggests that the percentage of imports from Malta was about 3.5% of total imports within that period. We'll take a quick break now, and when we return, Business Point continues. Do stay with us.
With every government and introduction of new policies, businesses of all kinds and sizes seize the opportunity to evolve and redefine themselves. Business Point on Global Television is where we follow the money and put the facts and figures right in front of you. Watch Business Point every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. as Kikelamo Ukeri tracks all the latest developments across critical sectors. Business Point. This is business.
Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Business Points on Global Television, where we x-ray Nigeria's economy and government policies. The United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, has stressed that Nigeria needs to adopt a coordinated approach to effectively tackle tax crimes. This is according to a statement published on its website. According to the organization in the statement, tax crimes and corruptions are closely intertwined, with individuals and companies engaged in corrupt activities often failing to report illicit earnings for tax purposes and inflating income from legitimate sources to launder corrupt proceeds. WazirX, the leading cryptocurrency exchange in India, has revealed its plan to spread the $230 million loss it's incurred following a hack on the platform amongst its users in an equitable manner. The WazirX team, after weeks of putting up a bounty program in a bid to recover the stolen funds, have finally announced their plan to deal with the loss and compensate affected users. WazirX shared its latest plan on its X page, stating their commitment to handling the issue fairly and transparently. Wazir team, in its blog post, explained the percentage for the distribution of funds and what users can expect to be getting after the exercise. WazirX founder Nishal Shetty threw more light on the planned approach by the exchange to handle the $230 million loss. He explained that the 55 and 45 approach offers a faster, more flexible solution. He added that the approach balances quick access for some with priority potential recovery, for others aiming to resolve the situation more efficiently than traditional precedents. The approach was criticized by Nikhil Pawar, a policy analyst, who argued that the approach was improper and was bordering on the abuse of access and trust ceded to WazirX by its users. It increased its bounty for white hat hackers who can help in retrieving the funds to $23 million or 10% of the stolen funds. The security breach occurred on the exchange's multi-sig wallet, which the WazirX team has described as a force majeure event. With that, they described it as a force. This is where we call it a wrap on this episode of Business Point. I would like to remind you that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.